Hello and welcome to our inaugural episode of Nerd Nation. I'm Brian for Apocalypse Movies, and I am here with Jake and Jacob. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Good.
Fantastic.
We are here to talk about all things nerdy. That includes TV, movies, video games, you name it. And we are going to discuss today on our very first episode, episode 101, we are going to be talking a little bit of Comic-Con and things that came out of it, and getting a little bit of opinion around this table and see what is on everyone's mind. The first thing, before we get into the big stuff, which we'll save Marvel towards the end, is The Witcher, the new Netflix show coming out, I believe, later this year. Is it early next year? One of those times. It dropped its first trailer. People went pretty crazy for it. There have been some
Comes out later this year.
There have been some rough comparisons to Game of Thrones. We'll get into that, but I'm assuming all of us have seen the trailer, right? Yes
sir.
Yeah. What are our thoughts? What are we thinking, Jacob?
So I have no preconceived ideas or an opinion on the Witcher franchise. It's a video game, right?
It was a book, then a video game.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's more known for the video game.
Yeah, that's because I didn't even know it was a book until this trailer, because it says based on the book.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say based on the video
Pretty
game.
long book,
Which,
like,
so
series.
the thing is, that makes me think, is the show more based on the book, or is it more based on the video games? Because people are going to call this a video game adaptation, which it can go either way. It's, it's kind of like Pokemon, where it wasn't a video game at first, or was it?
No, it was a TV show at first.
Yeah, but people try to say that
Video
it's like
game.
the Pikachu was a video game movie, which that's an argument to have. I feel like it's kind of the same with this. So other than that, it's kind of right up my wheelhouse. It feels more Lord of the Rings than it does Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not fair, just because it's fantasy, kind of sword and sandal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't just be compared to Game of Thrones.
I agree.
That's like saying every single comic book movie that came out, it's not as good as The Dark Knight, or something like that. That's unfair. And it doesn't look the same quality as Game of Thrones at all. But I love Henry Cavill. And like, just him being in it and it being fantasy is enough for me. I didn't love the trailer, though. It seemed very anticlimactic and very underwhelming. It didn't get me excited.
I don't think
other than Henry Cavill.
It didn't really show any action, if I can remember.
A little bit. That's what I was
Barely.
thinking. I was thinking they should have just led this off with a huge action scene in the trailer and get everybody going, whoa, instead of like all this dialogue and stuff. So it was all right.
I feel like it's going to be dialogue based, from what I got.
You think it's going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I think that the trailer. I don't have any prior knowledge with the video game and the book as well. I've heard about it, obviously, but I don't get a Game of Thrones vibe whatsoever. It does not feel like that at all. It's not because it doesn't feel cinematically or cinematic or whatever. It's just that
it's different.
Well, I don't feel a dozen different storylines that are going to fold into one, right? I feel like we're going to be following one or two different kind of characters and really diving into who they are, and this rather than certain storylines, it's going to be focused on the world, which is what Lord of the Rings did. And so I definitely get the Lord of the Rings vibe, but on a much smaller scale.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't mind the trailer. It wasn't like I wasn't like coming out of it like, oh my god, like that's the best thing they released so far at Comic-Con. We all love Henry Cavill. I think he's a great choice. It instantly shot the series up to like, okay, I'm interested to like, okay, I really need to see this now. Like, he's in it. I need to see this. It's interesting.
Seriously,
and everyone who played the video game or read the book seemed on board with him playing the character.
Oh, that's cool.
And so that's even a better situation. Something in the past that always reminds me of it is the Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise.
He needs to move. Unfortunately, he needs to move away from Superman as much as possible, because a lot of people only see that right now.
Yeah, no, I like what I see. I think that I definitely think there will be action scenes, but I do think that it's going to be a show where it's in the sense of the style, it'll be more stylistically similar to Game of Thrones, but it'll feel and look more like Lord of the Rings, if that makes sense. Because Game of Thrones was like 70% dialogue / conversations, and a lot, and then the other half was like actions, or the other 30% or whatever. I feel like it's going to be more like that, but it's going to feel more like Lord of the Rings, where it's just centered on a group.
Felt like more like Lord of the Rings because you have the elves and the witches and different creatures, you know. Where Game of Thrones, you have fantastical elements, but mostly
they're limited. It's all limited. This one's they're not gonna have any boundaries. They're gonna want to do whatever they want to do.
Do you know anything about it? You haven't played the game?
I know. I played it for like 5 minutes and turned it off. It was a little out of my wheelhouse. But I have friends that love the games, and the book's been around for, I'm pretty sure, a pretty long time.
I had no idea it was a book.
I want to say there's like almost like 10 of them. Like there's a lot of Witcher books, yeah. I mean, I didn't get Game of Thrones vibes from it at all.
No, people just do that because it's fantasy. They're trying to be Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I'm still interested in it. Definitely would like to see something a little bit more. So, yeah. I mean, I'm down. I'm down for it. But like I said, I would like to see a little bit more. I really still have no idea what it's about.
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
I will check out the first episode, and if I like it, I'll continue watching
only
it.
give it one episode.
Well, I'm saying I'll give it a shot. You know, if I hate it, I'm not going to keep watching it. Yeah,
You'll keep watching it to Henry Cavill.
I probably will.
There's 7 books. The first one came out in 93.
Yeah, see,
so it's 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 99, and then 2015.
That's crazy. The video game definitely elevated it.
Yeah. There was a 14-year gap between 6 and 7, and so.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a Swedish book. Originally it's not a United States type property. I believe it came
the author isn't from.
I believe it was written in Sweden and kind of like got big there, and then eventually jumped over.
Well, it's a name that I cannot pronounce. He's from Poland.
Poland, okay.
He's from Poland, but I have no idea how to pronounce his name. So I know his last name is Sapkowski.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm excited for it, but yeah. Any final thoughts on Witcher? Anything else?
I think this is going to be Netflix's, like, we've seen some cinematic stuff from them before as far as TV shows and stuff, but I think they're approaching it like their Game of Thrones.
100%.
I don't think it's going to be a Game of Thrones book or show or like a knockoff or an attempt to be it, but Netflix is treating it like their Game of Thrones in the sense of putting the money into it. Yeah. So a la what Disney's doing with The Mandalorian, right? Putting the money into it, making a cinematic universe, because the games are
Amazon with Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. Like the games are open world, so it's literally just endless. Okay. And they want to try to attempt that with the show as far as what I got from it, which I'm interested in. I like that. You guys know how I feel about Lord of the Rings, and so I'm going to be iffy on it because of all the different creatures and everything, but I'm cool on learning and seeing if I like it.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Yeah. Any thoughts from you? No?
Can't wait to see Henry Cavill.
Dude, he is, that one scene of him with his shirt off, my God.
People were saying he got more ripped for this.
It just looks ridiculous. Oh my God. The amount of time he puts into his body.
Like, he was already buff enough.
him and Justice
fits into shirts as it is.
Dude, it's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Well, alright, so we're going to move on to our next one, which would be the Watchmen series, coming to HBO. I am by no means a Watchmen fan. Like, I've seen the movie like a long time ago. I don't really remember it as much, so I'm sure you guys know more about it than I do. I feel like Gio would know a lot about Watchmen.
Well, because it's Zack Snyder in DC.
Yeah, so
he does. He knows more than me.
We'll have to get him onto a Watchmen. But the trailer dropped, and I didn't understand what in the H was going on in that trailer. This is the one property for me, I never understand what the heck is going on. I felt like I left more confused after the movie, and now I feel like I'm going to be that same way with this TV show coming out. What do you think?
I like the trailer, and it is because I have no idea what's going on. So if nobody knows who's listening or us, it's a prequel to the movie, I believe. So I believe it's connected. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh wow.
I do understand that they said, if I am remembering this correctly, they said that if we're going to connect it to that universe, it's going to be set before those events.
Okay.
And so it can go both ways of being either connected in a cinematic universe or just being a straight non-connected prequel that's set before those kind of events that happen with those characters. And so that being said, I mean I dig it. I think it's cool. The Rorschach army keeps interesting me.
Mm-hmm.
All those different faces. I love the cops with the yellow mask over their face. There's a lot of cool. The one thing with Watchmen, the movie, that always stood out to me is the way that it was shot. Obviously, that was always because of Zack Snyder. He shoots films in a certain way that are only his style, but more so than ever with Watchmen. And if they bring that to the TV show I'm in, I don't absolutely love the movie, but I've always been interested in it because it's so different.
Yeah.
The characters and the way that it's written and the kind of events that happen. And if I understand correctly, that's how the novels are written as well, the graphic novels.
It's a weird property.
It is,
sure.
and there's such different characters from your typical comic book characters, which is why I'm so interested in, which is why it makes so much sense for HBO to tackle this.
Yeah, is it Dr. Manhattan or Mr. Manhattan?
Dr. Manhattan.
So a lot of people, when you get up into the argument of most powerful comic book character, he's always included.
Yeah, and they depicted him that really well in the Watchmen movie. The problem with the Watchmen movie is it confuses a lot of people.
Yeah.
It confuses a lot of people.
Me.
And specifically his storyline.
That's the thing, because, alright, it's been years since I've seen the Watchmen movie. I mean, I don't even think I've sat down and watched it from beginning to end. I've seen scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But whether it's this trailer, whether it's comics, where in the DC Comics right now, they're intertwining the Watchmen with the DC universe, which I guess was never done before. And now it's something, I don't know, I read a few issues of Batman and stuff leading into it, and it was something where Dr. Manhattan created this, when they switched from New 52 to something, he created it or something. And it's just all of that. It's so confusing. It's even this trailer, it's let's make it be weird and confusing. It looks cool, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it. I have HBO, so once it comes out, I'm going to check it out. It's a comic book show.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I'm highly anticipating it.
Yeah.
It's just a little weird and all over the place.
This is another one I'm obviously going to check it out. I pretty much follow you exactly. Again, I'm confused by it. I would like to see probably another trailer. Although this was a hefty trailer. It was like a 3-minute.
I know, when
trailer.
I clicked on it, I was like, damn, 3 minutes?
Warner Brothers always does that with their Comic Con trailers. Remember the 5-minute Batman v Superman one a couple years ago? And the 5-minute Aquaman one a couple years ago? It's
And their Suicide Squad one was long too, huh?
They always do that with their Comic Con stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, Regina King is the person.
Yeah,
leading
I'm
this.
intrigued with her in this.
She's great in everything. Did you see they revealed her suit? They revealed her in a full costume. There was an image of her in a full costume, in her costume, and so she's
amazing
in so little compared to what she should be in. She should be in every film ever. She's just that good.
Yeah, I agree with you. Jeremy Irons is in it. I'll watch anything he's in.
So do we know who's playing who in this show?
Yeah,
or are they playing?
They're probably on there,
or?
but quite honestly, because I don't know the property, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
Jeremy
keen.
Irons, Dr. Manhattan.
No, his name is Ozymandias.
But they could be like this. They could say anyone is him. You never know.
I have no freaking clue.
Because I don't know that guy in the wheelchair. I don't know if he was in a wheelchair or whatever, but he said maybe I'm Dr. Manhattan or something. And I'm intrigued. He lives on Mars.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is going on?
Freaking wild, man.
And honestly, that part, because all I know is he's very powerful and that he crash landed on Mars or something. That intrigues me alone. So I'm gonna check it out.
The cinematic storytelling that is possible with the show is very similar to Game of Thrones. I mean, we're mentioning Game of Thrones so much in this.
So like The Witcher, to be honest, the trailer, it looks kind of low budget. It looked like a TV movie kind of. This looks amazing.
Well,
like it looks high quality.
HBO doesn't screw
So
well, HBO's now trying to find their new Game of Thrones, and they're like, we have all this money now. Here you go.
It's not going to be Watchmen. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
Is The Boys out on Amazon yet? Did it
It comes out next week. Or
No,
comes out Sunday.
comes out.
See, I can't wait to watch
No, it
that.
comes out tomorrow.
I thought it was the 28th.
Friday, 26th.
So I haven't seen.
it.
Here's the cool thing. I haven't seen a single trailer for that show.
Really?
I'm going straight off of word of mouth.
I cannot.
And there was someone. So Josh McCouga from Collider.
Yeah.
Amazon 2 months ago had him watch the series and then review it. So he's been sitting there.
Oh, because he does like TV stuff.
He's been sitting there saying, "Can't say anything. You guys can talk about it, but I can't say anything." And
So what was the point of them having him watch it? If he
well,
can't?
there was an embargo lifted a little while ago. I'm not saying like recently.
Oh,
but
until that.
yes.
Okay.
So he was sitting there like, "Can't say anything. You guys gotta talk around me."
I mean, based on the trailer
He loved
alone,
it.
it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally up his wheelhouse.
Mhm.
It's like nothing you've ever seen
Yeah,
before.
I'm so pumped.
I cannot.
Yeah.
So
and
pumped.
Carl Urban.
I love him.
Come
in
on.
everything. And then the lead guy is in a show that I watched back in the day called Banshee. Oh, such a good show.
We'll have to recap that on here.
And that's comic book related.
Yeah.
So before we move on real quick, are you guys gonna get HBO Max? Do you guys hear about that?
All right. So here's the thing. I already have HBO Go. I'm not gonna get both.
But they might
I think they're gonna merge it.
axe HBO Go for HBO
Yeah.
Max.
If they do that, and I still get like, cause I'm watching Sopranos right now, and if I, if it's all the same thing, I'll just keep it.
Everything's gonna be on HBO Max. So I'm giving
Yeah.
it a go, 100%.
It's so. Do we know the price range?
No.
No.
Because
they barely just
HBO
announced
Go's $14.99, so
Yeah.
I'm not paying more than that
Yeah.
for HBO Max.
I don't think it'll be much more than that because they have to compete with Disney, which is
Like,
$7.
I'm serious. I won't pay $1 more than that than
Yeah.
$14.99.
it. I still don't understand how Disney's only charging $7.
It'll only be that for the first so many
it's
launches.
just so they get everyone in the world to sign
Yep.
up, and then
Smart.
just like Netflix, they're gonna slowly increase it every year.
Or they do something like if you sign up now, it's $6.99. If you don't sign up by this time, they're going to
Because
increase the
damn
rates.
well, if it was $19.99, we all still would be getting it.
100%.
Disney?
That
Yeah.
library?
Yeah, easily.
That I'd probably pay $30 a month to be honest.
Yeah,
That's the highest.
I don't
go.
want to, but I would.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, oh my. Well, that's a whole nother like, Disney.
Don't
thing.
tell Disney that. Let's cut this out.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna be like, really? You
I know,
would?
right?
But I think it's time we go to the big daddy of the MCU. Marvel dropped. I was gonna say the hammer, but that's a little too close to home with it. But Marvel dropped their Phase 4 with a total of 10 items in 2 years.
11 with Blade.
11 with Blade, but Blade's not going to be in that.
Well, and that's on Phase 4. Yeah.
So 11 things announced, 10 in 2 years, 5 movies, 5 TV shows.
7 in 2021.
Yeah.
7.
Jake and I were down in Comic-Con in a car when they were announcing it, and we were losing our minds. For a second, we even thought they were all going to be 7 movies, but that would have been a little crazy. But yeah, we've got. Let's see if I can name them off the top of my head. We got Black Widow, Eternals, Doctor Strange, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
The Falcon
and the Winter Soldier. Jesus. Help me out here. WandaVision, Loki,
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
You're definitely going to miss one of them.
Love and Thunder.
Thor, Love and Thunder.
And What If?
What If? I'm missing one.
You are?
I thought that was.
Probably counted wrong.
Probably.
Black Widow.
No, that was my
You
first one.
said that. Yeah.
Black Widow, The Eternals, WandaVision, Doctor Strange 2, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Blade, Shang-Chi, What If, Loki,
Did you miss
Hawkeye.
Doctor Strange too? I think that's
No,
the
I
one you
said
missed.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I
that's
missed.
what it was.
That's what I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, insane, absolutely insane. We kind of already did a little bit of a dive into Comic-Con, and we have been throughout the whole week, but this is going to give us a little bit of a chance to dive in to the shows and or TV shows and movies. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss it to you, Jacob, and tell me what you want to talk about as far as pick one.
Well,
what are you thinking? What are you most excited for?
well, a lot of people are excited about these announcements, right? But there's some people who, and this is just looking at stuff online, that are saying that this is disappointing.
Oh my god.
And
Just
that
trolls being trolls.
they aren't happy with some of the announcements, and that it's kind of anticlimactic. There's no Avengers movie.
Anticlimactic.
There's no. I'm not. This is what some people are
No,
saying.
I know
There's
it's
no
not you,
Avengers.
but I'm just saying.
There's
God,
no,
Jacob.
There's no Fantastic Four. There's no X-Men movie. There's no.
Who cares?
My point being is this whole slate thing is freaking amazing. It's different. It's very different, and I love that.
Well, Kevin Feige said it at the end of the panel. He said, "You're not going to see an Avengers movie in Phase 4 because Phase 4 is all about new beginnings.
Yeah.
It's all about new beginnings, and that's exactly what we're getting with everything.
I mean, after Endgame, literally everything is a new beginning. Because,
outside of Black Widow,
I mean, it is.
right after Black Widow, it's everything
Yeah.
new. Everything is brand new.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's. It's like Phase 4 is gonna be known as
Insane.
the weird, crazy, balls to the wall, go
what
wild
it should
phase, and they've earned the right to. They can do whatever they want now. And think about this, like, it's weird to me because the What If series, they're talking about it as if it's like a legitimate part of the MCU. Obviously, whatever happens in there is not canon. It's What If, but it's related to everything in the Infinity Saga.
Yep.
So it's no different than any of these projects. It still
Peggy
has
Carter is Captain
it
America.
still has the same status.
What if Loki was worthy for Mjolnir? Like,
Are they doing what if Michael B. Jordan was Black Panther?
That's what I think
That's
they're
what
doing.
they
Yeah.
say.
Or what if he grew up in Wakanda?
So
Oh,
outside,
okay.
like, we don't know exactly.
the casts that they mostly grabbed from was Black Panther, Ant-Man, Captain America, Thor, and I'm forgetting someone. I've just been.
It's crazy to me. I feel like Thor: Love and Thunder, the plotline, would be a what if episode, but it's not.
So that's the one thing that, and Brian had asked the question, like, what's the one thing that you want to talk about? We haven't talked about Thor: Love and Thunder yet together as a group, and that's the one that I wanted to talk about.
If you ask me going into this, all right, these are all the 10 properties they're going to talk about. But before any of the announcements, before title announcements, before plots, anything, what do you think you're going to be the most excited about? I would have definitely said Thor 4. Because I
Really?
love
Taika Waititi.
Absolutely. I have Ragnarok ranked like number 3 on my MCU list.
I think it's 4 for me.
Yeah, every time I watch that movie, I love it more and more and more.
Mhm.
I thought you would have said Doctor Strange.
I fall asleep
I
to it on
still
Netflix
think
all the
it's
time.
gonna be. I trust. I know. I just throw it on
On Netflix,
all the
it's
time.
just throw it on.
I love. It might be the best opening to an MCU.
The opening with the song and when he's
Dude.
going up against Surtur
When
is
he's
just
swinging the hammer around,
and then
it's
the
so-
camera pan with the hammer going around the
and the music, it's amazing. So I would have thought that for sure it's going to be Thor 4, and I'm excited about quite a few more of these other than Thor 4. I'm still excited for Thor 4, obviously. I think Taika Waititi has something up his sleeve that's going to make us like.
Well, we
what
already
he's
saw that.
doing.
We have Mighty Thor coming.
I just don't really like the title, to be honest. And not that the title means anything. The movie can be great regardless of title. I don't really like the title.
So I think it's more. The vibe I'm getting from this movie is like metal.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean that's
Blood
kind of how
and Thunder,
Ragnarok was
like,
too, though.
And even the logo reminds me of like an 80s hair metal band.
I don't
Yeah, it reminds
mind.
you of Motley
I don't
Crue.
mind the Jane thing. That's kind of cool. It's not going to be a situation where she comes in and now for the next 10 years she's Thor. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's part of this plot of this movie, and I don't even think she's going to want to be Thor.
She'll be Thor
Well,
for the Avengers.
You guys know why she becomes Thor,
Yes.
right? And the whole situation, right?
Mhm.
That's going to be interesting if they actually do
Adapt that?
the
Yeah.
storyline. I don't want to spoil it in case it might spoil the movie.
I know it, but I want to read it now, so don't. spoil
Yeah,
it.
I know. I want to read
It's
it now,
awesome.
too.
It's awesome.
I've read some of it.
The way
actually.
it happens is
I
awesome.
actually have read some of it. So I think it's a plot in this movie, and Thor's not going anywhere. Thor's still gonna be around, and there's gonna be something different going on with him. So, but that's the thing. If I were to rank my excitement level for all 10 of these after this panel, Thor's probably not even, like, it's probably in the 3 or 4 spot rather than the number 1 spot.
Which is funny because that's the one you get to wait the longest for.
Yeah, it's the last one in phase 2. But I think there's a reason why it's in the last one in phase 2.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense.
Definitely a reason
It's
why.
the least. We've already had 3 Thor movies.
Before we move on to a different one, what do you think the title means?
Yeah, it could be literally anything.
See, I think love is pointing to Valkyrie,
No,
and
so do
Thor
I.
is pointing to
That's
Thor.
yeah. Thor
Thor.
meaning like Natalie Portman.
Possibly.
That's what I think.
One of the Thors.
Well, I don't know where it was. I think it was at the panel where
She
Valkyrie, she said she needs to find her queen.
Every king needs her queen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Do you think it's... See, I've been calling this from day one that I think that it should be Captain Marvel and Valkyrie.
Everyone else.
I've been saying it from day
well,
one.
we don't know Captain Marvel's sexual.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it would
Yeah.
make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if it is Jane Foster?
Yeah. Well, and they even said that they said they want to do a rom-com with Captain Marvel and Thor and Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And I could
love
see, because
triangle?
we know that Valkyrie prefers women. I mean,
Well, she likes both.
yeah, maybe.
Yes, but the flashback in Ragnarok showed her with a woman.
Yeah.
That's what we're
exactly.
pointing towards.
And we don't know Captain Marvel's. I mean, we know Thor's, but we don't know Captain Marvel's. Captain Marvel could go both ways, and
Exactly.
that's possible.
Exactly.
But I'm wondering, the thought has crossed my mind. Are her and Jane gonna get involved?
That's what I've been
That could be
thinking.
wild.
That's what I've been thinking.
That would be
man.
wild.
That's what I'm thinking
Like-
because, all right, they're not.
Can you imagine
I don't think
Thor's
Captain Marvel's going to be in it,
reaction?
maybe. But if anything, if she's teasing that, it might be Jane.
Yeah.
And what if it's a love triangle between them 3?
That'd be amazing. Could you imagine Thor's reaction to
That would
those
be
two?
amazing. I could just see me like, what is going on here?
And I'm so confused because it was pretty much a given that he was going to be in Guardians 3.
So Thor 4 takes place before Guardians 3. James Gunn confirmed it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the Guardians are going to be in the first act of the movie, and then they go off.
you know what's funny about that? Everyone assumed that meant Thor was going to be in Guardians 3. No one assumed that means Guardians are
I
going
think
to be
the Guardians are
in Thor
going to be in
4.
the first act, and they're going to do what they need to do, and maybe find Gamora, or something happens, and they split up, and Thor goes off on his own
Or
adventure.
maybe they
love to-
split up because they're like, we have to go find
Exactly,
Gamora.
that's what I'm
We know where
saying.
she
And,
is.
Thor, and
he's
Thor's like, I need to go do this.
I would love to see Star-Lord
I'm
just
cool with that
kicking him out.
because while I'm dying to see them together on screen, maybe not a whole movie.
Doesn't mean
you know?
well, it doesn't mean they can't come back together.
That's
though.
true.
And just imagine Taika Waititi doing the Guardians. Oh my goodness!
I would love to see them just kick Thor off the mall.
I think there's some romance going on, but I don't think it's as simple as Jane and Thor reunite.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that.
It'll definitely be one of the better love stories in the MCU though, because Waititi is doing it. He's really, really.
We'll
good at
see.
that
I mean, one of the weaker points of the MCU has been Jane and Thor
Yep.
in the first 2 films, so
he's gonna turn that.
we'll see. I hope he does.
stuff. Brian, do you have one specific that you're interested? Because I do.
Mine is the Eternals. I cannot freaking wait for
My
this
guy,
movie.
my guy, Richard Madden. My
I
God.
one of my childhood loves is like Greek mythology type stuff, and that's
Yes.
exactly what this is, in a way. And this cast is fire. The movie sounds incredible. I get like an Avengers vibe almost from just this movie, just because it's like a stacked cast and how they are. And they just a picture just got leaked of a set scene of it looks like an Aztecian temple in the middle of a forest, which I would assume would be Salma Hayek's area. I cannot freaking wait for this movie. And I don't know anything about the director. I'm sure you do.
Chloe
Chloe Zhao.
Zhao. I was gonna say Chloe Zhao. Chloe
Yeah.
Zhao. I haven't seen any of her projects, but I have researched her, so
I
think she's a great choice.
I really liked her when she came out on stage. Like, she was like genuinely freaking really excited to be doing this.
That's what I don't think people realize is like how important. 10 years ago, this would have never happened, but filmmakers these days are like, I want to do a Marvel movie. Like a dream come true would be to do a Marvel movie.
Nothing like this has ever happened before, where it's this long of a franchise, and big name directors want to make a movie in this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. And the fact that they're able to pull obscure properties from Marvel, maybe, I mean, I don't want to say obscure, but like not mainstream, like Captain America or Thor or Iron Man, and still get the excitement that it's getting. And that's what we're getting with the Eternals. It's a completely brand new slate. We have no idea how this is going to play out, because it says that it's, I read, they've been on Earth for 35,000 years. That's a long freaking time. So they could literally do anything with it. And you now have Salma Hayek, Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, and a long list of other people. They haven't even announced the villain yet. They might drop a bomb on us and have some. I mean, Keanu Reeves has been attached to this villain role. They've been throwing his name out for
Give
a
me
while.
Keanu Reeves as Galactus.
That's a whole nother. That's a casting
I mean, that's
table.
the thing. They can do. They have a lot of options for villains in there.
Yeah, it can, I mean,
Because it'll be a cosmic villain. It's not going to be anybody who's on Earth. It's going to be a cosmic
I mean, the
villain.
villains could end up being the Celestials for all we know. Like, I mean,
Makes the most sense.
it's. I mean, we also saw the little bit that little concept art of the Celestials, and I lost my mind when I saw that. But yeah, I cannot freaking wait for this movie.
I'm excited for it. I mean, that I can't believe how excited you are for it, but I am as well. It's weird to me though. They can't pull that they were just on Earth during Endgame and Infinity War, just
No.
chilling.
There's somewhere.
They could have got dusted. It's possible, or snapped. They could have. I'm
Well, like I said
curious how
last
they're gonna
time,
deal with
like
all
I said
that.
last time when we talked about it on our single video, they could have, maybe they have a way of seeing the future, and or someone does, and they have to stay there till the Avengers arrive, like till they start building
Or
on
it's a
Earth.
situation where, kind of like Doctor Strange, where he had to give the time stone away to Thanos. Like,
Yeah.
we have to let these events play out.
Yep.
We're not supposed to get
They
involved.
can't interfere with it all.
It could be something like that.
Because we also know that someone is officially playing the Watcher as well.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
that could also
That's-
very well
yeah.
play into it. So
That's very possible.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright is the Watcher, by the way.
Yeah.
Prime casting. Prime.
I just cannot wait to see Angelina Jolie as Athena, a goddess warrior, whoop some ass on whatever it is. I cannot freaking wait. All of them. I cannot wait for this movie.
Yeah, I'm excited for
And
it
it's
for
and
sure.
it's one of the new closest ones to us. So I'm.
It's the first of the new age.
Yeah.
It's right after Black Widow of next year, and so it's the first one where we're going to be getting a new taste of what the new MCU is going to look like and feel like and deal with. And I put it up on our thumbnail on the channel. Are the Eternals the MCU's future? Like, is it what they're going to drive the line through and kind of focus everything through, and maybe they're the focal point on everything, not per se in every film or whatever, but like, could they be what Iron Man was to Phase 1, 2, and 3? You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
could very well be interesting. 'Cause they are going to go cosmic.
They said they're going cosmic.
They're going cosmic.
But
Can't go more cosmic than Celestials, really. Well,
we're still going to be a lot of Earthbound stuff.
Oh, 100%. There's so
Yeah.
many characters on Earth that you can't leave that alone. Earth is always going to be a center factor of everything. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I always assumed Eternals is going to not take place on Earth. It's going to be out in space on
Yeah.
a planet we don't know.
Yeah.
And you guys tell me it's going to be on Earth. What? Why?
Yeah.
I understand they want people. It's more grounded. They can relate to it. It's always like, what if this happened in our world? But
well,
I don't think this movie needs to be on Earth.
I truly, truly think how this is going to play out is they are all going to be some worked into the history of the planet, and at some point they've come across humans, and humans have worshipped them as gods. Hence, Salma Hayek's character is like an Aztecian god. Athena is very reminiscent to Athena of the Greek gods. So I mean, I feel like that's truly what they're gonna do, is work them all into some type of lore into Earth's mythology, if you will. But yeah. All right, Jake. I'm pretty sure I know which one you're going for.
Which one do you think I'm going for?
Doctor Strange.
Nope.
Okay.
I want to talk Loki. We haven't talked about this one as well.
Sure.
And I was going to go Hawkeye, but I want to save that one for the single video that we're going to do because that has some cool things too. This is the one that we know a lot about already, basically, because of the events of Endgame, right? He has the Tesseract. It's been confirmed that he took off. That Loki is now a different Loki. It's a Loki that did not evolve after the events of Avengers, and so it's going to be a Loki who is hell-bent on revenge still, who is still a bad guy, who hadn't
lost his mom,
who had never lost his mom, or never grew a friendship with his brother, and so we're going back to old Loki, which is why I'm excited. And a cool little tidbit as well. They kind of teased it, but it's the most funky of all the logos, and all the letters of the logos kind of point to a time in our history, if you will. If you look at the L, it's a very industrial style L, could be pointing to the industrial age. The O almost looks like a night era O, almost like all Game of Thrones. The K is kind of almost in a way a very 60s and 70s hippie type of K, with the letters, and then the I is just a shimmering eye, and that could honestly be pointing to any time, maybe the time of the 90s or something. But they're teasing it right off the bat that this is going to go bonkers all over time.
The eye kind of looks like that's what the whole Loki
should look like.
Would look like. Like it's Asgard Loki, you know?
Exactly.
So maybe it's hinting towards that.
Suit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Shimmering green. No, I mean they're showing us right off the bat that look, there's no setting, there's no timeline in this film. Or this series, we're going everywhere, which is very exciting.
Well, I love the Loki character, and this is why it's that Loki from that alternate timeline. The Loki that we got to know in Ragnarok and all that is dead.
Mm-hmm.
The Loki we grew
dead,
alive.
which I like that because even though I didn't want him to die, it shows that he was actually killed, and that Loki's not coming back. We're getting a different Loki, which is totally fine. And it's so. This is out of everything on here. Like if I were to rank these as far as anticipation goes, Loki is number 2 out of all.
Really?
Yeah, all projects. I'm not. I'm combining them all TV and movies. Loki's number 2, and I don't even know what to expect really. We know he's jumping around time. We know what is his goal in this show? What are his motives? And I do think, even though it's the Loki up till Avengers, I do think we'll see him develop in this show, similarly to the way he developed in the real timeline.
What if he becomes a Thor villain, like an actual evil villain?
I wonder how they're gonna play that though. Like, what can you do with him with 8 to 10 episodes or 6 episodes or whatever? As far as, is it just gonna be the same thing every episode at different times? Like, that's what I'm confused about.
This is the most interesting one because it almost seems like it has nothing to do with the timeline in a way.
I mean, it doesn't. It's whatever alternate time they created when he left with the Tesseract.
It's his time. It's nobody else's. It's his timeline.
Yeah. So.
And there's a time. That's interesting because if you look at the whole, the way the time travel was panned out in Endgame, right? They said that when you remove an Infinity Stone from the path that it was on, it creates another timeline, right? They lost that Infinity Stone. Loki took it, so he's on his own timeline. They never corrected that timeline where he went off. They corrected the one where they took the Tesseract from the 60s.
Yes.
They put it back. They didn't put the Tesseract back, so it never went to Asgard, all that. It's crazy. So he's going to have his own timeline. No one else, no other MCU character that we know is going to be in this.
I wonder what characters are going to be included in this, because it can't just be Loki.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be enough just to be Loki.
It's not.
But I'm wondering what characters he's going to interact with, because he has such a big interaction with Thor, but Thor's not going to be in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know. I mean, it'll be very.
I wouldn't be surprised if Odin makes an appearance.
Yeah.
What if this is a way
Frost
for them
Giants
to introduce Beta Ray Bill?
But that would be a separate timeline.
True.
We've never met him.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Lady Sif.
Yeah, I want her
something
back
like that.
Jamie Alexander's character was so good. I wanted her back.
This is, for me, the biggest why. why are they making this? Like,
Because Tom Hiddleston is awesome as Loki,
obviously, that's a large part.
and they're not done with the character.
Yeah, this is a large part of why he's still going. But like, everything they do has a purpose. Literally, that's like their main thing is everything they do has a purpose. What does this got to do with it? So I think it'll be interesting to go.
It's almost like a what if series in a way.
It really
It feels like a what if series.
It's weird. A few of these do. Honestly, so does Thor: Love and Thunder, and WandaVision kind of does too, a little bit, depending on what
because of
happens
how
there.
Vision.
Yeah. But before we wrap up here, I just want to say the number one thing I was looking for is Doctor Strange
I think that's for all of
in the
us.
Multiverse of Madness.
Not for
Because
us.
I love Doctor Strange.
It's my number 2.
While I don't like the Thor title, I love this title.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that Elizabeth Olsen's going to be in it as the second lead. Love it. So, yeah, I would say top 3 are Doctor Strange, Loki, and Thor, just because I can't put it down much lower.
What are your top 3?
Most anticipated.
Eternals, Doctor Strange. I'm actually very, very, very intrigued by Shang-Chi.
So am I.
I love Awkwafina. She's amazing. And I feel like it could be really different and really cool.
The real Mandarin's going to be in this. The real Mandarin.
They're not going to screw this.
No. He's going to be the
superhero.
real.
I just hope he's
Mandarin.
not a one-off. I hope he's the. I hope if they plan on doing a trilogy with him, Shang-Chi, I hope he's a trilogy villain. He's behind it all, like a full-on comic book.
Well, he's been around since Iron Man, so his criminal organization, if you will, 10 Rings. So, what about you, top 3?
I'm gonna go Thor: Love and Thunder first, because of Mighty Thor, Jane Foster. I'm very excited to see that.
Taika Waititi coming back.
Taika Waititi. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and then the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is my number 3.
Yeah.
Just, I love grounded stuff, and
I mean,
I get a very
it's as close to Captain America as you're going to get.
Yeah, well, I get a very similar vibe to Winter Soldier. And
I'm
stuff
more
like that,
excited
so.
for Black Widow than I thought I would
So
be
am I.
though, too.
That's my fourth. That's my fourth.
I was waiting for Jake to say it because
I'm losing my mind over this.
because they keep comparing it to the Winter Soldier. They keep saying the action, fight scenes and stuff.
Well, Scarlett Johansson came out today and she said that the movie is going to be ugly and brutal.
Damn. So before this announcement, I was barely looking forward to WandaVision, but after this announcement, I am because she's in multiverse and
The
it
connection
goes into it.
I really think
Yeah.
she's going to do a House of M type thing.
Something like that.
And it's going to play into Doctor Strange. But yeah, we didn't even touch Blade. That's a whole nother. Oh my God.
Amazing casting.
That's all you
what
can say.
more?
It's
We don't know anything else.
all you can say.
Did you hear the rumoring they want to grab Spike Lee as the director?
Bring it on.
Right? That's what
I want, and he didn't. He said he wouldn't do this, but I really want to see Jordan Peele do it.
That would be amazing. But,
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That would be amazing.
I want to see Jordan Peele do it so bad.
Oh
but
man.
after seeing Black Klansman,
Yeah. There's a lot of good Quite honestly, hell, put Ryan Coogler on that thing, man.
why not?
Like,
Dang, they can. Oh, that's a whole nother.
yeah.
But
Whole nother.
We'll have to
Somehow,
We'll have to fan cast Blade directors on the casting table.
Somehow, I want to see Blade and Deadpool
It's
cross
happening.
paths.
It's 100% happening.
That would be.
You know
Wanna
why
see
it's
them
going to happen?
Fight and then join
You
up.
know why it's going to happen? Because Ryan Reynolds was in Blade Trinity. That's
He
why
was.
it's happening. That movie was on TV last night,
And
so
you know
that's why it's
Deadpool's going to
happening.
be like, huh, this feels familiar.
Yep,
Something like that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That would be really funny. Well, there you go. There's our inaugural episode of Nerd Nation, episode 100. You got a little taste of The Witcher. You got a little bit of Watchmen, and we wrapped it up with
A lot of.
yeah. And then you got a big
Marvel
old smack of the MCU and Marvel's Phase 4. So go ahead and let us know what you think of this episode of Nerd Nation. We obviously couldn't talk about everything, so if you have something you want to talk about, hit up the comments below, and we will respond to you through that way. We might even talk a little bit more on another episode. But for Jake and Jacob, I'm Brian. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and or like button. We really appreciate it. And until next time, we will see you later.
Hey everyone, Jacob Bartley here. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out something similar from Apocalypse Movies, click this video up here. You want something a little bit different? Check out this video down here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Apocalypse Movies and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We always love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.